haven, safe port in a storm. That's what these kids needed. Everybody knows somebody, and it might be a mate that I went to school with, or a friend who had a brother or a cousin or somebody who had struggled at school for whatever reason. And because there weren't schools like the Haven, they dropped out. And if they dropped out, that led to depression, low self-esteem, sometimes drug or alcohol issues. Now, if you get an education, that gives you choices. Choices lead to opportunities, opportunities to lifestyle. We're about giving these kids another chance so that they can achieve. It was a story of two young kids who were walking along the beach one morning. And as they were walking along, up in the distance, they could see someone bending over, standing up, bending over, standing up. And the little boy asked the man, he said, "Excuse me, sir, what are you doing?" And the old man said, "The sun's coming up and the tide's going out." And he said, "These starfish are all going to die if I don't throw them back in the water." But the little boy said, looking around, "There are thousands and thousands of starfish." He said, "You can't possibly save them all. You can't hope to make a difference." And the old man bent down and picked up another one and he said, "I'll make a difference to this one." And he threw it back in the water. None of us get a say in when we're born or if our parents are going through good times or bad times when we are born. And anybody at any time can have the wheels fall off. In a traditional school, be it a government school or a private high school, you can have 30 or 35 kids in a classroom with one teacher. And that poor teacher, after they give an introduction to the lesson, spend 5 minutes revising the previous learned work, they have less than a minute per child to go around the room and help them with any difficulties they have. Some have refused to go to school and become chronic truants. Some have been forced to leave school because of the behavioural issues associated with frustration and anxiety because they haven't been able to do the work or work in the same manner as their classmates, and some because they've just given up hope. We work on two fronts, and the two fronts are we help them rebuild their confidence and their self-esteem. So we provide counselling, which is free of charge, as part of their program. Then, as the students develop the strategies to cope with the highs and lows of everyday life, we then help them catch up with the schooling they've missed out on. Across the country, students like ours here at the Haven, who've had a range of these sort of problems, less than 28% of them complete a minimum education standard, say to the old school certificate level or Year 10 equivalent. Now, that's a national disgrace. At our school, our former students, we count them as a success if we're able to successfully reintegrate them back to school, they complete their education and then either move to university or into the workplace. Over 84% of our kids have achieved that. We've had 6 students go to university. We've got one there at the moment doing a double degree at Sydney Uni. And when those kids first met us, they were academically on the scrap heap. 11 years ago, the experts told me that I was flogging a dead horse, that there was no way people would support the school, there was no way that we'd be around in 12 months. We don't get direct support from either state or federal government, so we are totally reliant on our partners and our sponsors and supporters. If you give kids a chance, if you can give them hope for them and their families, then they can become contributors rather than living off the welfare or living off the kindness of other people in the community.